Brace yourself. Get blast up anytime now. Collect yourself. Things will never be the same in this sad, sad world.
Hello and welcome to Humanities class for Tuesday, August 25th. Today I want to give a little introduction for our remote learning students and for our blended learning students of how their day-to-day class is going to proceed. You may also be here if you're an on-campus student who was absent on the first day of class. The first few things we talk about are going to apply more to the remote learning students, but hang in there with me and we'll have some good information for you too. So we are in Humanities class, and Humanities is an exploration and a celebration of what it means to be human. We have the next 9 months to unpack that and to see what that really means. But this class is mostly about your ideas. We're going to look at the big ideas from the quote-unquote great thinkers that helped shape the world that we inherited. But we do that not just to rattle off, well, this is what Plato thought and this is what Abraham Lincoln thought, but so that we, and by we I mean you, so that you can form your own ideas. This is a class where your voice is the most important voice in the room. I'm here just to guide you in shaping your voice. My name is Mr. Childers. I can be reached by email through Schoology messaging, and also at jchilders1@fourcornerscharter.org. Always remember to include the 1 in my email address, or you will get Assistant Principal Childers by accident. And who would ever want to accidentally email this loser? In this class, and by the way, let me tell you that I am filming this during the on-campus open house, so we may have to start and stop a number of times through this video, and that's okay. In this class, we're going to explore the ideas that built our world. Ideas like truth and falsehood, like good and evil, love and hate, faith and reason, war and peace, fantasy and reality. Because the humanities are an exploration and a celebration of what it means to be human. But first, before we can explore any of that fascinating stuff, we've got to talk about the boring stuff, the ins and outs, the daily procedures. And you may think it all sounds like boring stuff, and I say too bad. Tomorrow, we'll talk about something called our classroom covenant. I don't like rules. We have rules, all right, but I don't like them. And rather than just hit you with a list of rules of conduct, especially for those of you who are sitting at home, I intend to run this class more like a community where we build relationships with each other. That's what we'll talk about tomorrow. In the meantime, we do need to get just a few of the basic policies that we can't do without. First thing you need to know is to expect change. This situation where we have a third of the students in class, a third of the students at home, a third of the students in class half of the time and at home half of the time, we've put together a plan that in our mind, having never done this before, seems like it will work well. But here's the thing, nobody has ever done this before. Most times when we plan something in school, we look and see what has worked historically. but we're all doing this for the first time. And it is inevitable that something that seemed like a good idea to me or to the principal sitting by ourselves in an office, 3 weeks from now we're going to say, you know what, that's not really working. So expect change. But here's how things work to begin with. Very important for you to check Schoology. That's what is replacing Edmodo, and that's probably how you found this video, so you already know what it is. Check Schoology often. You want to check remote learning students and blended learning students who are at home. Check for the day's main/attendance post no later than the beginning of your assigned class period. So you'll notice, even if you are working from home all year, you are technically a part of third period or fourth period or fifth period or what have you. So you need to check in for attendance on Schoology no later than the beginning of your class period. Now look, I am going to do everything I can to limit the number of times where students working at home have to be in front of their computer at a particular time in the day. I understand that you need more flexibility than that you don't have total control over your schedule when you're working from home. Some of you may have brothers and sisters, all of whom doing school at the same time, and you can't all be online for second period when second period's going on, and that's okay. So I will do everything in my power to, as often as possible, make it so that the work assigned to you that day can be done at any time during the day. There may be times when there's no way around it, and I'll say, if you're assigned a second period, you need to do this during second period. But I'm going to limit that. So the work itself will almost always be free for you to do at any time during the day. But I have to take attendance by 10 minutes into the period each class. So to at least go on there, click like on the post for attendance and see what the day's work is, I really do need to ask you to do that by the time your class period starts. All right? The updates page on Schoology is going to be my main way of communicating with remote students and blended students when they are at home. I strongly advise that several times a day you not only look through your feed where you get your updates from everybody, but you actually click on my class and come to my class's page and see what the latest things I've posted are. Of course, it won't be called fake practice. It will have the name of your actual class on there. But here's what my updates will always look like. They'll always begin in bold print by telling you who I'm talking to. So this update is for all students. This update for on-campus students. This one, blended students. This one, remote students. Remote and blended students, this is very important. Here's how you get credit for being in class for the day, and here's how you find out what you're supposed to be doing for the day. Always look, every day there will be a post that begins in bold print with this: remote and blended students. That's the audience. Remote and blended students. This is the main/attendance post for today's date. Click like on this post at the beginning of by the beginning of your scheduled class period for attendance, then read and follow the instructions. Okay? Schoology doesn't allow me, as far as I know, to schedule a post ahead of time and have it magically show up at midnight or 6 in the morning. So you may be able to access this the evening before. I expect that I'll usually post this late afternoon, early evening, the day before. I just need you to click the like button no later than when your class is scheduled to start, and then it will tell you what you need to do for the day. I expect to offer a number of opportunities, probably on Fridays, for as many people from whatever class period you're in to come together on Zoom, both to talk about classwork, but more importantly, to give you an opportunity to connect with fellow students, especially if you're still quarantined at home. So when you see those, I'll post on Schoology. That's where everything's going to come. I'll post on Schoology. When you see an invitation or that a Zoom session is scheduled, strongly consider joining that. I will do my best not to make them mandatory unless I'm told I have to. Students last year really enjoyed that, the ones who participated, so I strongly recommend that. Check Schoology often. Make it a goal to be here, whether here is at school or here is in front of your computer at home, every class, okay? Things will come up, I understand that, but if you have the power to follow the class's work every day, do that. And when you don't, or when you're not able to check in for attendance on time, don't skip it. Go back and do what you've missed. Contact me. You will find quickly, I think, that I am not a monster. I am not here looking to catch you up, making mistakes, looking to watch you fail. So if you have issues, reach out to me and we'll do what we can. But to the degree that it's in your control, be present on time, even online, for every class. If you're absent for a good reason, just make sure you have your parents contact the office so that it is excused. If you missed graded in-class work due to an unexcused absence, just keep up with your work. Keep up with your work. This semester, you're not going to get stuck with a 0. Don't worry about that. Nobody's going to get a 0 unless you absolutely just don't do it. So do it. Keep up with assignments. I do accept late work, but some assignments will lose points for being late. I don't do that to be a monster. You'll always be warned when that's the case, but I do reserve the right to do that. This one's big. I respect your privacy. Your personal life, your story, what goes on in your home, whether it is family life, health, economic, relationship stuff, is none of my business, all right? You have control. You are your own master. We are free people. You have the choice of who and how much to share about your personal life. Right? You don't owe me any of that information. You can. I'm here to listen. If you've decided I'm a person you trust, I'm more than happy to listen. You do not have to share any information about yourself that you're not comfortable sharing. That said, if there's something going on in your life that is impacting your ability to keep up with your schoolwork, and you would benefit from me accommodating you somehow, though I respect your privacy, I can't accommodate your needs if I don't know your needs. So you have to, each one of you need to figure out for yourself how to strike that balance. I will bend over backwards to make this work for you as long as you're communicating with me. If you choose not to communicate with me, there won't be any way for me to lend you a hand with issues that I don't know about. Please, please, please have patience. This is new for all of us. This is not ideal. Many of you are freshmen, and to start your high school experience sitting in your bedroom, staring at a cell phone, trying to get a Wi-Fi signal, that's not how it's supposed to work, okay? So I understand that this is a loss for you, a loss for all of us, even the people who are here with all the social distancing guidelines. Things just aren't the same. It doesn't mean they can't be good, but they're different, and there is something missing. Be patient with each other. Be patient with us, your teachers, and you have the right to expect patience from us. For all of us, but especially those who are learning from home and now have been since March, your social life is important for all people, but at this teenage phase of your life, that is a major part of forming you as a human being. And as that's been cut off, or at least cut very short, that can be painful. I hear reports all the time that in this quarantine we've been experiencing, there's been an increase in anxiety in young people and old people, increase in depression in young people and in old people. Keep an eye out for your own emotional well-being. And if you're experiencing increased anxiety or fearfulness, if you're down in the dumps and can't seem to pull yourself out of it, please know that even if you're not coming in on campus, the school's full support staff of guidance counselors, of mental health counselors, those resources are still available for you. Just need you to reach out. Let us know. Hopefully, you and I will build a relationship where you'll come to trust me as someone that you can reach out and ask for help if you need it. But if that doesn't happen, you don't owe me that, but you owe it to yourself to find somebody. We have those resources here, so please, for your own benefit, stay on top of that. Okay, at this point, students who are remote learning students do not have to watch the rest of the video. Students who are blended learning, students who are on campus who may have missed the first day of school, or new students who are transferring in and watching this to catch up, please hang in there with me for a few more minutes. While on campus, all school COVID policies, including masks, social distancing, and sanitation, will be enforced in this class, okay? It's not the most fun thing to sit around with a mask on your face all day, to sit so far apart. The passing periods and dismissal and all that is going to be, it's going to be something to see once it gets started. But I do not have any room to be flexible on that, okay? I don't like threats. I don't like the wave potential punishment in your face and all that, but you also, out of respect for you, you need to understand the seriousness of the situation and what will happen. So, to forget some of this and need to be reminded, that's human. Happens to me every morning. I have to go back in, oh crap, I forgot my mask, okay? We'll work with that. If you've got it in your mind, I don't think any of you would, but a student who got in your mind, you don't have your mask on, and I say, I need you to put your mask on. No, I'm not doing that. There is no conversation following that. You will be sent immediately to the dean's office with the recommendation that you be expelled from on-campus learning and switch to remote. No reason for that to happen, my goodness. My classroom is not a place that's ever been a battle zone, except for a couple. But just be aware that there's just not any room to be flexible on that. Few tips for living in the era of COVID, okay? These are suggestions from me, all right? First one is take your temperature at home before you come to school, because they're going to take it outside the front door, and if your temperature is over 100.4 degrees, they're going to tell your mom to turn the car around, you can't come in. Save yourself the hassle, get you a thermometer, take your temperature at home before school. Have your own stuff, okay? We're not able to allow students to share pens and pencils, paper, supplies, all that. So please bring your own. For my class, it's You need something to write on, something to write with every day. So please bring your own every day. I do have, come on in. Okay, so like I said, I'm filming this during open house, so we are going to have to stop for a minute. I will catch you all in a second. Okay, so as I was saying, you want to have your own stuff. Now look, I have extra supplies, pens, pencils, paper. If you forget something, you can ask me. It's okay. I'm not going to make you feel stupid. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Just try to have your own, though, okay? I would like to avoid signing over my entire paycheck to buying school supplies for you. So have your own stuff, but also don't feel ashamed to reach out if you have forgotten something. Bring extra masks, okay? This is my advice. I keep a bag in my desk with 5 extras in it, all right? Because you're wearing this thing all day, all right? And after a while, you get tired of the smell of your own mouth, all right? So having an extra that you can freshen up, or look, you sneeze. The temptation's going to be to, I'm going to sneeze, achoo, take the mask off. But that's not a good idea. Sneezes are the main culprit in this worldwide plague that's plaguing the world. So you're going to end up sneezing into your mask with snot all over your face, and you want to have a backup. So bring extra masks with you. Breath mints. I use chewing gum. I think you're technically not allowed to chew gum, whatever. But I use mint gum or a breath mint or a cough drop while I'm wearing a mask. Just because, again, even clean mouth still smells like mouth. And there's a reason that there's no mouth-scented candles or mouth-scented air freshener. So have a breath mint or something to freshen your breath. Expect change, we've talked about that. Patience, we've talked about that. Self-awareness, how's your emotional well-being? We've talked about that. In class, I will often be videotaping in class. For the benefit of my remote students and my blended learning students and people who are absent. So just be aware that if the videos feature students, they will only be shared with other students, and that's in 2 capacities. The videos might be shared in class to other students, and the videos will also go on YouTube for remote learners. But on YouTube, for your protection and privacy, videos that feature students will be unlisted. Unlisted videos means that somebody can't search Mr. Childers' Humanities class and your name and find the video. No, they have to have the very specific link with all those, you know what a YouTube link looks like. It's not something easily memorized. So that's for your protection, and then they come down at the end of the school year. I will often have, again, I'm recording this before the school year started, so it's just me in a room, unless an open house person comes in, but I'll often have students acting as cameraman, camerawoman. Hopefully it'll be fun. Look, I know it sucks starting out with all this, don't do this, don't do that, here are the rules, here are the expectations, that's no fun. This is a fun class. Not like actual fun, like you go out and have fun, but the school version of fun. My students last year really loved the class. I really loved the class, and hopefully that shows and hopefully that helps. We'll start the year without assigned seats. Again, this is for people who are in class. Sit wherever you'd like, and don't make it necessary to change that. I'm not particularly strict about bathroom. We do have a new bathroom pass system that's being rolled out. It hasn't been rolled out yet. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, I'm not, I can't see telling a human being who's got to pee that they're not allowed to pee. All right? I feel like you have, you know what your body needs. So I'm not going to be super strict about it, which means, again, don't abuse that, don't ruin that by wandering the halls. You'll normally not be allowed to leave this class to go work with another teacher, but if if I make an exception to that, I will need a note from that teacher. Always bring paper, I've talked about that. It's not relevant. Taking notes during lectures is strongly suggested. I'll try to put all my PowerPoints, when I use PowerPoints, make them available on Schoology. I'm trying to make this not take 16 hours, because this is not a very interesting video, is it? But this is huge important, okay? It's the one thing that I'm a big time jerk about. All written work must be your own. Do not plagiarize. Plagiarism is turning in something that you didn't write as if you had written it. Or taking someone else's writing and changing a word here, a word there. Using somebody else's words without giving them credit. That's plagiarism. So always cite your sources and use quotation marks if you are repeating information word for word. And look, so this is, up here is an actual student's plagiarized paper that was turned in a couple years ago. Here's how, aside from the fact that it's just wrong and you're better people than that, here's why it's, the other reason it's such a bad idea. So I copy one line, copy. Hang on. I should have planned this better, shouldn't I? Go to Google. Paste it with quotation marks. And 20 seconds later, I am at the exact, so the student copied this website, turned it in as if it was a paper he had written. Took me 20 seconds to have incontrovertible proof. Here's what you ripped off, okay? So, aside from it being wrong and just, you know, you're insulting yourself, you're all better than that. Look, some people, especially early in high school, are embarrassed, you don't feel like you're good writers. You're just starting, most of you are freshmen, you're not supposed to be good writers yet. You're supposed to be learning how to write. So your paper, I don't expect your paper to read like something I would write, okay? So you don't have to be ashamed, don't have to be embarrassed, don't have to worry about language skills. We work through all that together. It's just one thing I can't work through is academic dishonesty and plagiarism. I'm not super strict about a lot of stuff, but I am merciless about plagiarism. Plagiarized work will receive an automatic 0, and students will receive a disciplinary referral. Okay. Bad news and good news. Bad news is, for some reason I organized this so the absolute last thing I had to say to you today was a threat, which is not the type of relationship I want to have, so bad on me, though you just need to be aware of this. Good news is, that's the last thing I had to say to you today. Thanks for your time today. Join us again tomorrow. Check Schoology for tomorrow's work. Thank you for your time.
Trying to make the pieces fit to a puzzle with a million missing pieces. When I'm feeling fine is when I discover that I'm afraid to blow my cover, and there's something very wrong with this. So sit back in your hole, or get back in your cave. If I'm going down, I'm taking someone with me.